Chapter 10, Part 2, The Manifestations of Divinity, Scenes 10:11 to 10:20.
Introduction. When gratitude becomes revelation. Scene. The light of understanding now dawns in Arjuna's heart. The earlier chapters were full of questions, doubts, and ethical turmoil, but here, something profound changes. Confusion gives way to clarity, and clarity blossoms into reverence. Krishna's words no longer sound like philosophy, they feel like direct experience.
Then, in the previous verses, Krishna declared that he dwells in the hearts of the devoted, destroying ignorance with the lamp of wisdom. That light now begins to shine through Arjuna. He realizes that the friend beside him, the one who guided his chariot, who smiled through the storm, is none other than the infinite consciousness behind the cosmos. Gratitude overwhelms him. His voice trembles with awe as he begins to praise the Lord's boundless power, love, and wisdom.
In this moment, Arjuna stops seeking instruction and begins to celebrate realization. His heart speaks more than his intellect. The student becomes the devotee. Knowledge transforms into worship. Krishna, in turn, begins to reveal his divine manifestations not as mere descriptions, but as glimpses into how the divine pervades all life.
This chapter is sometimes called Vibhūti Yoga, the Yoga of Divine Glories. Vibhūti means manifestations, expressions of greatness. Krishna will show that everything magnificent, noble, or wondrous in creation is a spark of his energy, the brilliance of the sun, the wisdom of sages, the courage of warriors, the fragrance of earth. For Arjuna, this is not abstract theology. It's a revelation that transforms how he sees the world. Everything becomes infused with divinity. The battlefield itself becomes sacred. Every being reflects the presence of Krishna.
Now, for us today, this section becomes an invitation to live in gratitude. We often admire beauty, talent, or strength as human achievement, forgetting the invisible source behind it. Krishna teaches us to look again to see the divine in everything we admire, in everyone who inspires us, and even within ourselves. Reverence, he says, is not blind submission, but awakened perception, seeing the sacred in the ordinary.
When gratitude deepens into reverence, ego dissolves and wisdom begins. The heart that bows before the unseen power behind life becomes receptive to truth. This is why Arjuna's humility opens the door for the next great revelation, the cosmic vision that will soon follow. Focus. Reverence is the beginning of wisdom. When gratitude ripens into awe, the world becomes luminous with the presence of the divine. Scene 10:11, the lamp of wisdom shines.
Scene. Krishna says, "Out of compassion for them, I dwell in their hearts and destroy the darkness of ignorance with the shining lamp of wisdom."
Then, this is where revelation truly begins. Krishna's words ignite Arjuna's transformation. The divine, he says, is not content to watch from afar. He enters the heart, becoming light itself. Ignorance is not punished, it is illuminated. This is the grace that turns the sinner into seeker, and the seeker into sage. For Arjuna, the meaning is personal. All his doubts, fears, and paralysis have been forms of darkness. Now Krishna's words begin to burn them away. Knowledge becomes not information, but illumination, a light felt, not merely understood.
Now, for the modern mind, this verse is medicine. In times of confusion or despair, the divine light doesn't appear through miracles, but through clarity, a sudden insight, a new strength, a quiet knowing that whispers, "You are not alone." Every time we awaken from fear into understanding, Krishna's lamp is shining.
True spirituality is not escape from ignorance but compassion within it. The divine doesn't condemn the blind, he gives them eyes to see. Focus. The divine lives within as light. Wisdom is not found but revealed when love clears the heart. Scene 10.12, 10.13. Arjuna's realization of the divine friend.
Scene. Arjuna speaks. "You are the supreme Brahman, the supreme abode, the ultimate purifier, the eternal divine being, the primal God, unborn and all-pervading. All sages proclaim this, as do the divine seer Narada, Asita, Devala, and Vyasa. Now you yourself declare it to me."
Then Arjuna's voice now trembles with realization. The veil has lifted. He finally sees Krishna not merely as guide or companion, but as the supreme reality, the infinite consciousness spoken of in all scriptures. Everything he has learned from teachers, texts, and traditions finds confirmation in this living revelation before him. For Arjuna, this is not belief, it is recognition. The knowledge of the Vedas becomes alive in the presence of Krishna. The ancient seers once spoke of an eternal source, beyond time and form, and now that source smiles before him as his friend. Gratitude and awe merge into one.
Now, for the modern seeker, this moment captures the essence of spirituality when understanding becomes experience. We read, study, and analyze divine truths, but there comes a moment when life itself confirms them. You sense a presence beyond logic in stillness, in beauty, in forgiveness, in the love that survives even pain. That is when wisdom turns into faith.
Arjuna's words remind us reverence does not cancel friendship, it sanctifies it. Krishna remains both infinite and intimate, the Lord of the cosmos and the companion of one soul. Focus. The divine is both vast and personal. Realization is not discovery of something new, but recognition of what was always near. Scene 10:14, Faith Beyond Doubt.
Scene, Arjuna continues, O Krishna, I accept all that you have said as truth. Neither the gods nor the demons can comprehend your true nature.
Then Arjuna's transformation deepens. Doubt, his old companion, dissolves completely. His intellect bows before the magnitude of Krishna's being. He realizes that divine truth cannot be measured by reason, it must be embraced by faith. The gods may glimpse aspects of Krishna's power and demons may challenge it, but none can fully know it, for he is beyond grasp. For Arjuna, this is surrender in its purest form, not blind belief, but trust born from direct encounter. He no longer asks, "How can I know?" but says, "I know because you are." His heart has moved from seeking to seeing.
Now, in our skeptical age, Arjuna's surrender offers a profound message. Faith is not irrational, it is experiential. When you've touched peace deeper than fear, forgiveness stronger than anger, or beauty beyond logic, you know something divine moves within you. That knowing doesn't cancel intellect, it transcends it.
Faith, then, is not denial of evidence, but recognition of evidence too vast for analysis. To accept the truth of the divine is to trust the reality of love and consciousness that no equation can define. Focus. Faith begins where analysis ends. When doubt yields to direct experience, peace becomes unshakable. Scene 10:15. You alone know yourself.
Scene, Arjuna continues, You alone know yourself by yourself, O Supreme Person, Source of all beings, Lord of all creation, God of gods, and Ruler of the universe.
Then, with this, Arjuna acknowledges the final mystery. Only God truly knows God. The infinite can be revealed, not defined. Words, rituals, and philosophies can point toward Him, but only He can unveil Himself completely. This is the humility that crowns wisdom, the understanding that knowing the divine is not about mastery but about surrender. For Arjuna, this moment is the completion of his learning curve. He began the Gita seeking moral clarity. He now stands in awe of cosmic truth. The warrior bows before the source of all power. His heart no longer demands explanation. It rests in reverence.
Now, this verse invites every modern seeker to humility. In an age that celebrates expertise, Krishna reminds us that some truths are too sacred to be owned. The divine reveals himself in proportion to openness, not intellect. The mind studies, the heart understands. When we stop trying to define God and start relating to Him, spirituality becomes alive.
In a noisy world of opinions, reverence restores silence, the silence where truth speaks. Focus. The divine cannot be captured by mind, only revealed by love. Humility is the highest intelligence. Scene 10:16. Reveal yourself, O Infinite One.
Scene. Arjuna bows and pleads, Please describe in detail your divine manifestations by which you pervade all the worlds. O Krishna, how may I meditate upon you to know you fully?
Then Arjuna, now overflowing with devotion, asks the most human and yet the most divine of questions. How do I see you everywhere? He doesn't want more theories, he wants experience. His request is not born of doubt, but of yearning. He knows Krishna is all-pervading, but he wants to learn how to feel that truth in daily life.
For Krishna, this is the perfect moment. The disciple's intellect has been purified by surrender. His heart has opened fully. Knowledge has become love, and love now seeks vision. This is the hallmark of true devotion. It doesn't stop at belief. It longs to see the beloved in everything.
Now, this question is our question too. How do we perceive divinity amidst chaos, technology, and noise? How do we sense the sacred when life feels ordinary? Arjuna speaks for all of us who meditate, pray, and seek meaning. How do I remember you when I forget?
Krishna's response, which will unfold in the coming verses, teaches us that spirituality is not escape from the world, but recognition of its divine fabric. Every mountain, every star, every noble action is a window into God's presence.
Focus. The true seeker does not seek escape but vision. Ask sincerely, and the universe itself becomes a temple. Scene 10 to 17. How to see the divine everywhere.
Scene. Arjuna continues. O Janardana, how should I think of you, O Lord, while meditating? In what forms are you to be remembered, O blessed Lord?
Then Arjuna's devotion becomes practical. He seeks a guide for remembrance. How can the finite mind grasp the infinite? How can meditation, bound by form, touch the formless? He wants a living map for devotion, something his heart and senses can hold. Krishna will soon answer by describing his presence in every domain as the brilliance of the sun, the wisdom of sages, the power of rulers, the fragrance of earth. But first, Arjuna's sincerity teaches us something profound. Spirituality grows through curiosity born of love. The devotee does not demand miracles but seeks a relationship, a way to stay connected.
Now, this scene mirrors our own longing in the modern world. Many seek mindfulness techniques or visualizations to stay centered, but Krishna's path is far more intimate. He invites us to see him through the world, not apart from it in beauty, in courage, in love, in truth. Every encounter becomes meditation.
When you admire kindness, strength, or creativity, you are already remembering God. To meditate on Krishna is to honor the best in life as reflections of his being. Focus. Meditation is not withdrawal but recognition. See God through the noble, the beautiful, and the courageous, and every moment becomes prayer. Scene 10:18. Never enough of hearing the divine.
Scene. Arjuna continues. O Keshava, please describe again in detail your divine powers and glories. Hearing about your greatness is never enough for me.
Then Arjuna's thirst for the divine has become boundless. The warrior who once wanted to retreat from battle now cannot get enough of Krishna's words. The same mind that was paralyzed by fear is now awakened by love. His statement, "I can never have enough of hearing you," captures the transformation of the soul in devotion. For Krishna, this is not flattery, it is readiness. The heart that delights in divine remembrance has crossed the threshold of spiritual maturity. Arjuna's longing pulls more revelation from the infinite. This is the secret of divine grace. The more you love, the more God reveals.
Now, in our world of constant stimulation, Arjuna's longing is a reminder of what true fulfillment feels like. We chase novelty endlessly, but only divine connection satisfies without exhaustion. When your heart is tuned to truth, every word about it nourishes rather than depletes.
This verse also reflects the joy of learning when love guides knowledge. Real spirituality is not duty, it is fascination, a sacred curiosity that grows the more it is fed.
Focus. The more you love truth, the more truth reveals itself. Spiritual joy is endless because its object, the divine, is infinite.
Scene 10:19. I shall describe my glories.
Scene. Krishna smiles and says, "Yes, I shall now declare to you my divine manifestations, the most prominent ones, for there is no end to my extent."
Then Krishna accepts Arjuna's request with affection. He acknowledges that his manifestations are infinite, countless as the stars, but he will reveal only a few to inspire vision. This marks the beginning of the grand vibhūti yoga, where the divine reveals himself as the essence of everything exalted in the world. For Arjuna, this is grace beyond measure. God himself chooses to reveal how he can be perceived in elements, in virtues, in greatness, in creation. It is as if Krishna opens a window in the sky of understanding and lets divine light flood through.
Now, this scene reminds us that spiritual insight is not human achievement, but divine gift. When you are ready, humble, open, and reverent revelation unfolds naturally. God speaks through intuition, synchronicity, or beauty that stops you in your tracks. Krishna's smile here symbolizes that compassion, the joy of sharing himself with his devotee.
There is also a profound teaching here. The infinite expresses itself through the finite, not to limit but to guide. Each noble expression in life is a signpost back to the source.
Focus. The infinite reveals itself through the great and the good. Look for God not beyond life, but shining through it.
Scene 10:20 I am the self in every being.
Scene, Krishna begins his revelation. I am the self, O Gudakasha, seated in the hearts of all beings. I am the beginning, the middle, and the end of all creatures.
Then Krishna begins his majestic self-disclosure not with the stars or the gods, but with the self, the consciousness within all. He tells Arjuna that he is not merely around life, but within it as the core of awareness itself. By addressing Arjuna as Gudakesha, one who has conquered sleep, Krishna honors his awakening state, a mind ready to perceive the truth. For Arjuna, this changes everything. Krishna is not just in heaven, he is in every heart. The beginning, middle, and end of all beings flow through that inner self. Existence is no longer fragmented, everything lives in Krishna, and Krishna lives in everything.
Now, this is the essence of all spirituality. The divine is not a separate entity, but the consciousness animating your thoughts, your breath, your love. You don't have to look outward to find God. You only have to become quiet enough to feel Him within.
In modern terms, this verse is revolutionary. It suggests that self-awareness itself is sacred. Every act of mindfulness, compassion, or creativity is communion with the divine. When you see yourself and others as expressions of the same consciousness, judgment fades and reverence begins. Focus. The divine is not apart from life, but its very soul. See Krishna as the self within all, and you will never feel separate again. Closing summary. The Manifestations of Divinity, Part 2.
Scene. The battlefield of Kurukshetra still rumbles in the distance, but within Arjuna, a new world dawns. He is no longer just a warrior caught in moral confusion. He is a witness to divine revelation. The conversation now glows with gratitude, reverence, and awakening.
Then Arjuna began this section with a humble plea, scene 10:16. Show me how you pervade everything. His question was not about proof, but perception. He wanted to live in remembrance. Krishna, smiling, agreed to reveal his divine manifestations, scene 10:19, knowing that Arjuna's heart was now ripe for direct vision.
Between these 2 points, devotion deepened into intimacy. Arjuna's love became so pure that he confessed, scene 10:18, I can never have enough of hearing your glories. This is the shift from mind to heart, the joy that comes when knowledge transforms into love. Finally, Krishna revealed the foundation of all manifestations, scene 10:20. I am the self seated in the hearts of all beings. Before he would describe his cosmic powers, he reminds Arjuna that the truest revelation lies within.
Now, these verses call to every modern seeker who wonders how to find God amidst daily life. Krishna's answer is luminous and simple. Begin with gratitude, then seek vision. Ask sincerely, and life itself will start revealing divinity through people, moments, and insights. Every sunrise, every act of courage, every spark of creativity is Krishna whispering, I am here. This teaching also reshapes how we view meditation. It is not escapism, but awakening, learning to see the sacred within the familiar. When you realize the same consciousness flows through all beings, competition softens into cooperation, and worship becomes a way of living.
Krishna's declaration, I am the self in all beings, is not poetry. It is the essence of unity. It means that love for God and love for others are one and the same. Every act of kindness, forgiveness, or service becomes divine worship.
As Arjuna listens, his world expands from the personal to the universal. He begins to see that fighting for righteousness is not personal duty, but participation in cosmic harmony. The battlefield turns into a temple, action becomes meditation, and his surrender becomes his greatest strength. Focus. God pervades everything, not just the heavens but every heart. Gratitude opens the eyes, devotion deepens the vision, and realization unites the self with the divine everywhere.